Coming up on today's episode of Technoid, the Google Pixel 4a is rumored to have 5G? No. And I'm going to tell you why it is not going to have 5G. Also on today's episode, Samsung has released a brand new A-series phone, and I will explain which A-series phone that is, and also their cheaper Galaxy Fold is looking to be coming around June. I'll explain the details. And also as a side bonus, for my community poll, I will talk about kaios and explain why you should definitely be on the lookout for kaios in the near future. I'll explain everything about it if you have or have not heard about it. All of that on today's episode, so stay tuned. Yo, what's happening everybody? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. Hope you all are doing excellent. Now, before we start the video, I just want to say thank you to everybody that wished me happy birthday, sent me all the nice messages. I really do appreciate you guys reaching out like that. So I want to take this time and thank each and every one of you. And also to new subscribers, thank you for clicking on. Now, to everybody watching this, if you have not seen my first part of my mini-series documentary that I am working on called The Rise of Mid-Ranges, part 1 is officially out. If you want to check it out, I will be documenting the rise of mid-range smartphones. I will go into great detail starting from 2017 all the way to where we are. I will do it for about 8 parts, and then there will be a nice finale with hopefully some YouTubers to come in and help. But if you want to check it out, link will be in the description or at the end of this video. Now that we got all that mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's get it going. So story number 1. Now normally I start with boring stories to get that out of the way before I talk about the main story. But for today only, I'm going to start with the main story for today. I'm going to save the rest for later because I want to talk a little bit more extensively about kaios. So for those of you that are just clicking on and those of you that are just subscribing new, let me give you the first story out of the way because you could choose to watch this video or not. The last part is for my subscribers. But anyway, let's get it going. Google. Now, as you know, I did make a video talking about everything you need to know about the Google Pixel 4a, and I thought I was done covering the Pixel 4a until it was being released. But then I was just notified and it got blown up on my phone that apparently the Google Pixel 4a is rumored to have 5G. Now, according to CNET basically gathered the news from other sources and linked them in their website, so I'll leave a link to that. But they are claiming that the Google Pixel 4a is going to have the Snapdragon 765 and will also be priced at $399, which I already discussed. But they claim that there will also be a 4a XL phone on top of that, and the 5G variant will spread onto that one as well. Okay, couple of things. Number 1. CNET is okay when it comes to reliability. They're 50-50. Number 2, do I believe there's a 4a XL? Absolutely. They have the 3a, now you have the 3a XL. And number 3, there is no way they are putting 5G in a mid-range before the Pixel 5. So the answer that you people want to know, is it going to have 5G, is simple.
No. Hell no, for what?
Let me tell you why. First of all, the 765 Snapdragon is a pure mid-range processor. Now on the surface you're saying, okay, it is much easier to reduce the price, it makes more sense, you get more 5G. Here's the problem. Number 1, the 4a and 4a XL are priced at $399. If you're gonna manufacture the 765, you would have to increase the price of that phone by $150 because the manufacturing price to put the 765 in with its modem will cost you about $100 to $150 approximate. Now, I could be wrong on my estimates, but the numbers and facts are on here if you don't believe me. You can look it up for yourself. So why would Google put a 765 chip that costs more to put in, and obviously they'll be saving money, but they would be losing it because you price it at $399. You would want to make back your money because the 765 processor, while granted a good mid-range flagship performer, it does not make sense. I don't understand who came up with this? Like, whoever came up with this rumor that they would do that. If anything, the rumor that I stated in my previous episode about my OnePlus Z video, they would rather put the 765 in their premium flagship phone, which is really the bigger rumor. So I don't understand who came up with this rumor and thinks it's all right and justifiable. Like I said, they would not do that at that price range. If they price it at $499 or $599 respectively for the 3A or the 4A, whatever they're calling it, if they did that, then I would understand and say there is some believability in that. But when you have a phone that's a mid-range that clearly is a competitor to the iPhone SE at $399, giving you a Google experience and has never mentioned 5G in any mid-ranges, why would they put it in there? And I haven't even discussed, to begin, that they didn't even put it in their Google Pixel 5. So why would the mid-range get it before the flagship? Common sense, people. Common sense. So, that's it for the Pixel 4a. Want to get that out of the way. So, let's move it up now to Samsung. I'm going to get through these real fast and then I'm going to head over to kaios. So, moving over to Samsung, they're on a roll. They're releasing phones left and right. They're really doing a good job when it comes to expanding on the market. Well, good news, they have expanded even further with the A21. So Samsung's newest A-series phone is basically looking to be an underperformer because a lot of people are happy with their A51, which includes 5G for $499 and $599 respectively. That's a better price point. But most people kind of are still not really into the groove of 5G and they don't want that. Well, good news, you'll be happy to know that the A21 takes everything that you like about the A51 and takes it down by one step. Now, not terribly, but hear me out. So, taking a look at the specs for the phone, it will have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, it will support 15-watt fast charging, not power delivery fast charging. It will have up to 512 gigabytes of external storage. It will have, I believe, 32 gigabytes of storage base configuration. There will be 3 gigabytes of RAM. That is pretty low, I would expect it to maybe be 4. And also you will have the ability to use an external SD card. So, the price point for this phone is rumored to be around $200, $250, respectively. And that to me is pretty reasonable for an A-series phone. Now, that it does sound a little low, so I'm gonna push it and say around the $300 mark, respectively, around $349, around there. Because $299 sounds just a little too low, so I'm gonna step it up and say $349 to $399. The A21 does look like a nice phone on the surface. You got 3 cameras, you got a punch hole. But honestly, the A51 gives you a little bit more better value, so you might want to look at that and bite the bullet. Also with releasing a phone, Samsung is working on releasing their Galaxy Fold Lite, hoping to head to release for June. Now, we don't know exactly why June, but the reason is simple. You have your press conference coming up in August. You're also seeing that you're not making enough sales in your flagships, especially in the foldable department. So by releasing a cheaper one, you could hope to grab more people. And my answer to that is simple. Samsung, nobody is ready for foldables. I don't understand. Yes, the Galaxy Z Flip is cool. I think that's a cool phone. Is it a practical device? No. No IP certification, no water resistant. It is still as fragile as a contact lens, and it isn't pliable right now. While I think it's okay that you're trying to innovate and push forward with releasing a foldable, I don't think this is the right time, and I think you should really consider trying to get those certifications, try to find ways to make it innovative before you release them. That is just my opinion, but so far the foldables have held up pretty well, and I do have to give respect to Samsung for taking the initiative. And last story up, the main one really for my subscribers, if you made it this far, comment down below, #ravioli, that lets me know you've watched the whole video, you'll see why. But let's talk about kaios. Now guys, if you know, there are 2 big platforms right now in the mobile industry. You have iOS, pretty standard, and Android. Well, coming up on the wing is a 3rd operating system that is mostly in India, but is making its way to America and actually making some big waves. Let me explain. So first of all, kaios is basically a mobile platform operating system that uses mostly flip phones, budget end phones around the $50 to $100 mark. But the thing that makes it stand out the most is that it can do everything that a touchscreen phone can do. It can watch YouTube, you can surf the internet, even on a phone like a flip phone and things like that, kaios can take advantage of things that Android has done. Now you're saying to yourself, oh, that's nothing, oh, what's the big whoop? Well, why would Google invest $22 billion, I believe, or 22 million in this company? Why would any company like Mozilla partner with them to give them better experience? Well, it's simple, kaios is rising. Now, in 2018, there was a chart showing that kaios was actually higher on the chart of which mobile operating system is used in India. It came in at 2nd. What was 3rd? iOS. Now, obviously, to America, that's not a big whoop, but for consumers and the purpose of choice and availability, that is a good thing. And now with the recent partnership of using Firefox, Mozilla, and also the money investments from Google, kaios is looking to be on the rise by making more practical smartphones like touchscreen phones. Instead of moving away from the budget end and also partnering with other countries, they are looking to expand in America. Now, I for one have seen kaios with my own eyes. My prime example, my father has a flip phone. Don't ask me why. It is much easier for him. I'm gonna leave it at that. But the OS running on it is kaios, and kaios happens to be worked in T-Mobile. T-Mobile has flip phones that run kaios. And to me, after using it and seeing the experience, I can safely say that if they were to take that and put it on a modern day flagship with some decent specs, you have yourself a legitimate third use. You have yourself a third OS platform. Because kaios is rising, where most people will not acknowledge it and most people will forget it. I'm here to tell you the truth. And the truth is, it will not be nowhere near iOS or Android right now. But give it 3 to maybe 4 years. And if kaios finally expands, I'm telling you guys, that is gonna be the next big third-party platform that will make a big break between the two, Android and iOS. So keep your eye on kaios. I will talk more about it when I hear more news about it. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. Helps circulate my video either way. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody, and peace.